Okay, so this is an introduction to our brand new Panasonic cameras. They are high definition and they're extremely good cameras, and hopefully you'll get a lot of use out of them because they're quite easy to use. You can see here it looks like a pretty normal video camera. This is where the power button comes in, and basically you connect that in and it will either power the device or, as you can see there by the flashing light, it will charge the battery if you're not using it. So I'm just going to disconnect it for the moment so we can have a look at the rest of the device. So when we flip the camera open like this, you can see the USB port, which is what I would use to connect it to the computer or the Mac. That's pretty much the easiest way of doing it. And you've got three buttons down here which are in order. This one is not really important at the moment. If you get a little bit more advanced, it allows you to change the functions. This one here is the handshake. It kind of stabilizes the image, and if you hold that down and the hand comes up on the screen, you'll be able to see that it's automatically stabilizing the image. But if you're editing to the Mac, it will actually do that for you as it gets imported. This little button down here is the most important one because it tells you that it is recording on 1080p. Now unfortunately with the Macs you can't record on 1080p because that's incompatible. So we need to set it to a slightly different setting, which is normal, and I'll show you how we do that. The on button is just down here. It's a little bit hidden away, but never mind. We press it on and on comes the camera. Now you can see here at the top we had the battery. We have this little symbol here, it says R iframe. Now iframe means I've got it on the correct setting down here. If I was to change that, you see it will say, oh, now I'm on 1080p. Unfortunately that's the one that's incompatible. So if you open the camera and you can see 1080 there, you're in the wrong setting. So push it again. If you can see iframe there, you're in the right setting. What you can also see here is an amount of time, 0 hours and 18 minutes, 16 minutes. That means that's the amount of time you have left to record on your SD card. Let's just flip over here for a second, because on the bottom is where the SD card goes. Just in this little thing there, and you just push it and it releases like that. You can hear it doesn't like the fact that I've taken the card out, so I'm just going to put it back in. You can also see that here is the little screw thread on which you would attach at any tripod, any standard tripod. Be careful to screw it in carefully though. And finally you can see just here the battery release mechanism. So if I just show you that, I'll take it this way and then just dislodge the battery like that, and that's fairly easy to do. So when I want to put it back in, I just shove it up, and there we go. In order to record, you've got your three functions here on the button. The one to the left is for playback, so this would allow me to see anything that I've recorded. You can see that there are two videos on there, and if I press it I can have a look at what I've done. You see a lot of this is touch screen as well. Pretty boring videos, huh? Okay, let's change the mode. The second mode in the middle is the camera function. You see I've got the iframe there, and if I want to change any specific functions like white balance, then that menu button does come up there, but to be honest it works pretty well automatically. And from there you've basically got the top button here, which is one way or the other. One is telescopic, one is wide. Now with the zoom you have to use this because it's very, very tricky, and you have to make sure that you are zooming in as slowly as possible. different sort of zoom times make your footage look very amateurish, so try and get used to using this little button if you can. And we've then got this button here for a snapshot if you were going to take a photograph, and this button here is your record button, and if you see, as I press it, you can see that it's suddenly become a little red spot on there, and I can see the counter going. If I press it a second time, it's paused it and stopped it. And that's pretty much all you need to know. It's got a very, very clever little device whereby if I switch the camera off, the shutter will automatically close, so you don't have to worry about dust getting in or anything like that. Second clever little function is the ability to turn the screen round so that you can see what you're actually filming. And the third clever little function is the microphone under here. However, it's not particularly sensitive. It will work to about 5, maybe 6 feet, as long as the person is talking reasonably loudly. So make sure that you get no distractions and no other noises around. And those are the basic uses of the Panasonic HC-500.